I'm not in the mood to do a cold open today. We're on Riverside now.
Yay.
Welcome back to the Announcers Curse podcast. I'm Derek Todoroff.
I am Ben Iman.
We're on Riverside now. We're trying various ways of recording this in the absence of our good friend, Caden Barksdale. You sound a little dead, Derek. You might be thinking to yourself, well, yeah, I am a little dead. Remember how, one of the stated goals I said last episode of recording without Caden was so we could ideally record a little earlier. Well, it is 1:50 a.m., which means that we are recording 10 minutes earlier than we normally would prior to Caden.
Yeah, a little bit earlier. We're working on it. We're still figuring out exactly what our schedule is like. Look, we're still hoping to deliver these podcasts to you Wednesday. Well, yeah, we're all invested in the podcast, whether you touch it in editing or not, Derek.
That's not what I meant.
I'm saying we're hoping to be able to still deliver this to you guys by Wednesdays every week and go from there. So we're going to keep trying different things. So Derek brought up the Riverside, which is how we actually used to record the podcast back in the day. And so we're trying this one out. We've been working through all sorts of stuff, technical difficulties, scheduling difficulties. We want to get back to driver interviews, which is, I believe I have an idea that we can make that happen. It's right around the docket. Derek and I are going to talk about that off the episode.
News to me.
Exactly. Well, Derek, I guess it was a busy weekend across the motorsports land. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start on the East Coast with Watkins Glen. We caught a lot of racing out there at the Glen this week. ARCA Truck Series, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and the Cup Series. Of those races, they were...
Derek, I've just got the sudden urge to go bowling.
Hey, bowling is pretty fun. This isn't going to be like golf where I protest loudly about golf. I like bowling. Bowling's rad.
We've had fun bowling.
Yes, we have.
So let's start... I'm actually going to say let's start with the top two series from Watkins Glen. Let's start with the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and the NASCAR Cup Series. The biggest takeaway, Derek, is that they are inevitable. The biggest thing I can say. Congrats to Connor Zilisch. Unk still got it 2.0 for picking up the win at Watkins Glen. Coming down to the last lap, but he got past Jesse Love and strolled to victory lane. And I don't know if you saw when he got to victory lane, he went up through the roof, but then they had a little mat underneath the car to catch him, so he didn't repeat last year. And the Cup Series was Shane Van Gisbergen with a late race rundown of a leader with the tire strategy. But I mean, he was the best car from the rip. Michael McDowell hung with him for a little bit towards the start, which, by the way, good run for Michael McDowell. But
Zilisch had comparable speed on equal playing field, but they never really have that.
So I don't mean necessarily to just kind of gloss over these races, but they're kind of what we expected. When it's on a road course, I guess it's worth shouting out Team Trackhouse just in general, because everyone was fast. Ross Chastain had top 10 speed, and Connor Zilisch had top 10 speed, and Shane Van Gisbergen could have started 2 laps down, and I think still would have won, kind of thing. So just whatever Trackhouse is doing on the left and rights, I think if they can put maybe a little bit more energy into the lefts, they would actually be a bit more competitive. Shane Van Gisbergen looking like the only driver really flirting with the chase. I think Ross Chastain's on the outside looking in.
And Connor Zilisch is one of the bottom 5.
Unfortunately, and I don't think there's, unless he starts ripping them off like the O'Reilly series, he won't.
They won't.
Not in the Cup Series, and so that's a bummer. But I wanted to kind of focus on the bottom 2 series, but not for necessarily the races that were run, but for one individual driver. And that guy's name is Caden Honeycutt. Caden Honeycutt ran the ARCA race first. Did he run for Pinnacle or?
He ran the number 17 machine for, I believe, Cook Racing.
Finds his way to victory lane. This is one of the few times I'll accept bushwhacking, is when guys come down to school the ARCA kids. What I would love to see? Let's go to, what does ARCA run at, Bristol or Darlington? Where's their next short track?
I think they run Bristol every once in a while. They definitely don't run Darlington.
Okay. So we'll go with Bristol. I would love to see Kyle Larson run an ARCA car at Bristol and just mow the field down. It's one of the few times I'll excuse
I want to see Dale Jr. in an ARCA car at Bristol.
Oh my goodness. Unk still got it. And then we moved to the truck race, which was the same day, by the way, which was won by Mr. Caden Honeycutt, breaking through for his first win with Tricon Garage in the truck series. And Look, and he's talked a lot about this offseason about how his big shoes to fill. Corey Heim, most amount of wins, series champion last year in that truck. But he was very thankful that the team was kind of resetting all that and, clean slate and giving him a chance to grow into the safe light number 11. And he's been close a couple times this year, Derek, but he finally got it here. So I think that was really big. I think that's kind of all I really wanted to talk about the Glen. It was a fairly bog standard road course weekend. I do love when the NASCAR series go the left and the right, and I'm also glad that Watkins Glen moved out of the chase. As a Denny Hamlin fan, he kind of poo-poo at these.
I do want to add, this is only the third Truck Series race this season where a Truck Series regular has won, and it's the first one since St. Petersburg. Congratulations to the driver of the number 11 for becoming the first non-Ford truck regular to win a truck race, which is really funny to say, given that we don't have any Fords in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series anymore. That they are having a solid chunk of success over on the other side of things. And hey, we'll see how this year continues to treat them. Other thing I do want to call out about the Truck Series race specifically, Ram ended up with 3 trucks in the top 10. And yeah, one of them was AJ Allmendinger. That's not shocking. The other 2, Butterbean McQueen and Minnie Tyrell.
Yeah, boys.
And notably, Justin Haley suffered a mechanical failure on the last lap. He was running 10th at the time. We almost ended up with 4 of the Ram trucks in the top 10 at Watkins Glen. That team might be turning a corner, might just be learning from the fact that they've brought in some of the best road course drivers to run these races in that free agent truck. I'm not sure. I think Braun and Dinger have both given them a lot to work with heading into the road course portion of the schedule. I'm curious to see what their next 2 drivers have for Dover and Charlotte, because, boy, for those who don't know, and we're just spoiler alert a little ahead of talking about Dover, Clint Boyer is in the free agent truck at Dover for Ram.
Yeah, Derek, my mama never told me you never grabbed the grease horse Bud the Slick while you out them on the back porch and Wendy's.
Yep. That's Boyer.
That guy's driving your truck at Dover. He loved the Boyer. Boyer, come on the pod.
Yeah, Boyer, you're welcome on the pod. So is AJ Allmendinger, to be
love
clear.
The Dinger.
We'd love AJ Allmendinger on the pod. I'd also, I'd love to have Jamie Mack on the pod. He's the Charlotte driver for the Ram truck. I'm a huge Jamie McMurray fan. Hey, Jamie, if we ever have a race car, we're going to number it number 40. And it's not technically because of you, but if you want to come race the number 40, I would not say no.
Yeah, neither would I.
Or your son, who also races the number 40. Did you know that? He races in the Smart Modified Tour, and he's really good, and also sponsored by Bass Pro Shops.
I didn't know that. We love some Jamie Mack. Anyway, that's the Glen. Good one there. And then the reason I wanted to focus on Caden Honeycutt is because then we went to Ace Speedway with the ZMAX Cars Tour for both limited lates. I know they're limited lates out here, but they're late model stocks out there. Excuse me. Kyler Hope is going to whip me later over that. And then for pro lates as well.
Editor put up an image of Ben being whipped by Kyler Hope.
So the Pro Late 100 race ran first and was won by Caden Honeycutt, which put us on sweep alert for the 4th and final race, the limited late model race. And come on, by the way, I'm talking about it.
Crack sound.
By the way I'm talking about it, does anyone not know where this is going? Caden Honeycutt completes the sweep. Absolutely drenched in a pool of sweat. His driver's suit just you can clearly see the red is not as vibrant because it is so wet. And you know what he said in victory lane on that one? I just came out here this weekend to prove no one is better. And I love the swagger that man has right now. And here's the thing is, when you pull off a weekend like that, Derek, you know for a fact that is going to translate to his truck success.
I mean,
momentum is a thing in this
Momentum is a thing, but those are not. You got to count on similar tracks and the team itself.
Sure.
If the Tricon 11 team can ride on that momentum, sure. But I worry that Caden Honeycutt isn't going to get caught up on I'm the greatest. But
sure,
these next few tracks are tracks that punish you for getting cocky, especially this next one. And a good finish at Dover, carry that momentum. You're heading into Charlotte. That'll be great. You mess up at Dover, that can kill your momentum right there. There's no such thing as a pretty Dover crash.
No, I've never seen one before.
If you make a mistake, you get a little too cocky, it's gonna go poorly. Dover is a track that will punish you. And I think Honeycutt is at a little bit of a risk with that. He's got a fast truck. He can win. But if you push too hard at Dover, Dover bites back. That's its whole deal. The Monster Mile can claim another race car.
And so for Honeycutt, I hope they keep it rolling. For everyone else in the field, you hope he doesn't at the end of the day. So, Derek, why don't we make some Dover picks since we're on the topic?
I do want to quickly say before we move on to the Dover picks, I want to shout out Corey Haim, who made his first late model stock appearance in a very long time. The last
For
time
Nelson
he was
Motorsports.
last time he was behind the wheel of one, he ended up on his roof, and he talked to Matt Weaver afterwards and simply said, "Better than that time," which, yeah.
Amen to that.
It's got to be rough for Corey Haim this season in such a terrible situation of limbo, hoping that you got a seat next year. And he should have a seat next year, but should doesn't always get you the ride. It's a real shame. Yeah, let's make some Dover picks.
Why don't you bring us up and start us with our first series off run in Dover here, I believe is the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Crazy do we want to be today, Ben?
I'm feeling like a 2-star spicy.
So spicy. Well, I'm going to give you a pretty crazy pick. I've repeatedly demonstrated this season that I'm one of the biggest Ram can win this guys in the entire group. And I'm not going to change that. This is a difficult track. This track will test everything you have. And I do think that you mess up here, you get punished. So you need someone who's experienced in high stakes moments, someone who can keep their composure, but someone who's raced this style of track before. I'm going to quickly check something. I'm fully confused now. That wasn't helpful at all. All I know is that this driver keeps a lot of his composure, and I think he can run consistently. I think the team is turning a corner, and I said I have confidence in Ram. So give me Butterbean McQueen to take that win. I know his last name is just Queen, but Butterbean McQueen sounds cooler in my opinion, so I'm calling him.
Putting your mouth where your money is. I like it, Derek. I'm going to kind of stay in a similar vein. Putting your mouth where your money is, Derek. It's a common saying. I don't understand why you're...
It's not.
All right. We're going to leave Derek in La La Land. I'm also going to, kind of...
You reverse the common saying.
I'm going to... No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Put your money where your mouth is.
No one says it like that, Derek.
I'm being gaslit.
I'm going to go ahead and make my pick now, if I can.
I'm going to drink this bottle of Crown.
Drink responsibly, kids. I'm going to stick it into a vein. I'm going to slide away from some of the similar drivers I have picked from, and I'm going to take a guy who... I'm going to take a swing on someone here that, has experience in the truck series, has been a Final Four driver in previous seasons, when we're still playoff format. I'm not picking Carson Hocevar. I'm going to give me Tyler Ankrum, Derek.
Oh, okay. That is an unusual pick for you. I have so little faith in you. I really thought it was just going to be another big name.
No. I'm gonna give this a shot. I've picked a lot of those. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna give this a shot. Which, by the way, I did see on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, today, that someone asked when Carson Hocevar was out of truck races, and unfortunately, the answer is he's not, because he hasn't run 4 full Cup seasons, so he can just run as many of them as he wants.
Hey, outside of
the chase ones.
Carson Hocevar is racing this weekend, so I have a feeling I know his pick, but. Quick cutaway to Caden for his pick.
Yes. Derek read me like a book. I'm picking Carson Hocevar for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He has a lot of hype around him right now, and the vibes are good, and I'm big on vibes, so give me Carson Hocevar.
All right. So if that was Carson Hocevar, Caden put a lovely little check mark up there. If it wasn't, you can put a giant X over my face and a loud and correct buzzer for a little bit.
Please just pick anyone else, Caden, just for that.
I'm just saying, I want you to look at our spreadsheet.
He picks Carson Hocevar a lot.
He's picked 3 drivers.
Corey Haim, Ben Rhodes, and Carson Marsh. And the funniest thing was the Ben Rhodes one was the one we gave him the most amount of crap over, Derek, and then Ben Rhodes ended up on the podium.
He's doing the best of us when it comes to picking the truck series. All right, well, we head over to the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. They're visiting Dover as well. Last week, both of our drivers got top 10s. In fact, mine only finished one behind you, which I think if you would have told someone, yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen finished 8th, they'd be like, oh, okay, you know, a little bit of an off day. Yeah, one spot ahead of Austin Green. They might have thought you were crazy, but hey, I told you guys Austin Green was going to do pretty good, and he did, so I'm pretty happy.
You did. I'm going to give Derek that credit. Give Derek the credit. All right. O'Reilly Auto Parts. What are you thinking on this one?
Boy, this is, I don't know. I have an answer, but I don't want to give it because I don't like him.
Okay. You can't take Austin Hills. I mean, you can if you want, but
that's not who it is.
Wow. Derek is vitriolic about Austin Hill, so I just assumed that. Do you want me to go first while you ponder?
No, I found my pick.
Okay, he found a pick.
So here's a fun fact. ARCA races here quite a bit. Or used to, I should say. Used to come here once a year. In the ARCA Menard series, there have been 3 drivers who've won at this track multiple times. This is just setting up story. I'm not picking one of these 3. Those being Brett Moffitt, Austin Hill, and Sam Mayer. Now, I'm not picking any of those drivers, but I am picking the 2022 winner of this race. You're never going to guess who my O'Reilly Auto Parts Series pick is here at Dover Speedway.
Who is it?
It's late at night. My brain's turning off. So give me Taylor Gray.
He's disassociating again. Well, you know, that's worked out for him once in the last 2 years. So maybe he'll strike gold again here.
I like Taylor Gray and I want him to succeed.
So stop picking him. We've all told you what to do. All right. Well, so actually, it's funny enough. Sam Mayer was kind of who I was originally floating on taking, but I've actually pivoted. I've pivoted completely off that. Okay. I said I'm going to stay on the 2-star spicy tonight, okay? O'Reilly Auto Parts of Dover. This is a real race other than the all-car race we get later on in the night. But so I am still going to pick a Chevy.
Sounds. Editor, booing sounds.
I am still going to pick a Chevy because I don't know, do Fords exist in this series anymore? And Toyota has a few. But I think this would be a first career win for this guy if he can get it done at Dover. I'd like Parker Retzlaff, please, sir.
It is really funny you say that because I did go in earlier and make a couple of picks, both of which I've renounced now. I took them off and replaced them with the ones I've said here. Those being Parker Retzlaff in Dover and Daniel Hemrick in the Truck Series.
I guess I got Derek's brain for this one.
Hey, you know, I took it a little bit further with my level. I went to 3-star spicy and you stayed at 2-star spicy. So that's, yeah. I will point out other drivers who might want to be watched on this one. I would look at William Sawalich as much as I don't like him. He's the driver I was actually mentioning earlier when I said a driver I don't like. And so I didn't want to pick him. I don't have a reason for disliking William Sawalich. I just don't like him. There's something about him. Maybe it's his name. It's fun to call him Willie Sandwich. Maybe it's the fact he just constantly wins when I play NASCAR 25. Regardless of what it is.
You know, on NASCAR 25, William Sawalich is the god of ARCA.
He is.
He crushes Butterbean every single time.
And with that, you were going to cut away to Caden.
All right, for the O'Reilly race here, I'm going to be picking someone that I don't know if I've actually ever picked before. Maybe a couple times, but not very often. And, you know, the lights are going to be brighter, I think, for this O'Reilly race, maybe than some other ones because it is the all-car weekend. But love is in the air when the lights are brightest. I don't know what that means, but you can figure that out. But give me Jesse Love to win the O'Reilly Auto Parts race.
And transition back in.
Wow, Caden, that's a crazy one.
That's a weird pick, Caden, and we're going to watch back the video later, and he's going to have chosen Justin Allgaier.
Wow, Caden really thinking outside of the box on this one. All right, next is the All-Star race. So Dover loses its points-paying race this year, which sucks because Danny won at Dover last year. But Miles the Monster now gets to host
the all-car race.
Yeah, it is the all-star race that they've decided they're not doing an LCQ for this year. They're just putting them all on the field. So it's just another race.
An all-star race. It's not an all-star race.
It's just another race. So you know how I would... Okay, we're going to quick side tangent. How would you save the NASCAR all-star race?
Make it the all-star race again. I don't know what to tell you.
Here's what I would do.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think there should be an LCQ for the all-star race.
Only somebody should make it. Only the winner should make it.
No, I say the winners and you give a fan vote. Fan vote can have, I think that's fun. It gets the drivers in on it. It's kind of like the All-Star game where sometimes you got the fan vote. I look up the story of God, I can't remember his name. Hold on.
Look up the year that the entire All-Star starting line for the AL was Cincinnati Royals minus one guy. I think it was around 2015 when they won the title, somewhere in there.
Here we go. I think the fan vote's an incredible part of any All-Star adventure. If you want a source on that and part of my love for it, I want you to look up the hockey player John Scott.
Yes, John Scott is an NHL All-Star.
The time that NHL All-Star John Scott not only was playing for the wrong division, but also the wrong conference, and was an AHL player when he won the NHL All-Star game and was the MVP. So we love John Scott. Everyone should love John Scott. And if you don't know who John Scott is, maybe one day we'll also make videos that are little video essays. And when we do, we'll talk about John Scott.
For sure. Here's what I would say. Make it long. Make it a long race. Make it like 400 laps. Maybe not at Dover, but kind of thing, right?
Not at Dover. Dover should not host the All-Star race. I love Dover, and that's why it shouldn't host an All-Star race. All-Star race should be at a track that is not unique and not special.
So we go wherever we go for the All-Star race. Each team has to field two drivers, the regular driver of the car, and then either a driver from another series or a lower series. There's a driver change in the middle. So it's strategic. Do you put your driver up front and let him run up front to start and hope that your other driver can close it out? Or do you bring in...
So 23...
Yeah, because they could just put Corey Heim with Tyler Reddick and win it. Yes.
I do. I like that. The other idea I've heard before that I really like is a All-Star race that is the Daytona Road Course, and we put everyone on it. We put the winners from the Truck Series, the winners from the Xfinity Series, and the winners from the Cup Series.
Oh, all
out on track, and we score them differently, but we go full like endurance racing. Everybody's on the field. Go get them. Go get them.
See all of that is better than just running Dover regularly with everyone. But
well, do you want to know why that last idea will never happen? Do you want to know why?
Is it no?
It's because the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series cars are faster than the Cup cars.
That is true. That is true. It'll be won by Connor Zillich.
It'll be won by Connor Zillich.
He will give up the 88 and he'll just go and run the one again.
Or knowing our luck, Jesse Love.
Or knowing our love, Austin Hill. Anyway, let's make some picks for Dover.
Editor, more booze, editor.
Derek, I see you've already entered in your All-Star pick.
I have. My pick for the All-Star race is Josh Berry.
Okay, sure.
I think after the playoffs he had last year, he should get $1 million.
Caden, I see, has selected the Podfather for a record 5th time this year.
What is it?
It's 1, 2...
No, that's only 3.
4. Sorry, this will be the third one. I can give you a spoiler on who he also picked for Charlotte. The best finish the Todd Father has had is 12th. But I'm gonna take a menace. I'm gonna keep the spicy on. I'm gonna take NASCAR's real most popular driver. I think Noah Gragson wins the All-Star race.
What?
Yeah, it won't happen. But this one's just the fun one.
Worst front row car. Which is saying something, because we all love the Todd Father, but we're not going to pretend the Todd Father is that good.
Tony G is good, but his equipment isn't great, and he's a solid mid-pack runner. He's a
solid 3-star driver back at NASCAR Heat 5, and he drives for a 3-star team. He's the perfect front row motorsports driver.
Right.
And Noah Gragson is worse than him, and Zane Smith is better than him. Zane Smith deserves to be in higher level equipment, and Noah Gragson deserves to not be in the Cup Series.
Won't elaborate. But we all picked. We
all did pick a Ford.
You should change to Zane Smith so we can all just root for front row motorsports the whole weekend.
You know what? Why not? Yeah. So I still want Josh Berry to go get $1 million because, dear Lord, did he have a nightmarish playoffs last year?
But yeah, friends,
the coalition of front row now watches none of these drivers make it to the final stage of the race.
That'll be our luck. Well, tell us who you think's going to win the All-Star race down below in the comments of wherever you're watching this.
Get in the comments.
Especially you, Ryan Clark. Especially you,
Ryan Clark. We want to know. How many NASCAR drivers can you name, Ryan Clark? And how many of them did you learn about from this podcast?
I want you to, who's going to win the All-Star race? Leave it on Spotify. Leave it underneath the YouTube video and text each one of us individually. Please pick a different driver each time. You get 5
minutes. Do you even have Caden's phone number?
No. You can forward it to him. Well, all right. Let's shift and pivot over to our lovely, lovely section of the woods. The Northwest racing season is going strong and rolling well. So let's start with Evergreen Speedway and the second annual Can-Am Shootout featuring the NST Sprint Car Tour. Look, I have to sum it up and pretty safely be like, it is so fun to watch those cars race. Pavement sprint cars are awesome. And they're rapid. I mean, look this way: Nemo Lang has the track record in a Pro Late model at the 15.9. Jeff Montgomery has the Super Sprint track record at a 12.7. For context, right? Which, if you've seen pavement sprint cars before, you're like, yeah, no, duh. But if you haven't seen these things run, hopefully that provides some context that they're going around the same size track in 6 seconds faster than the biggest cars we have, horsepower wise. And speed. And anyway, something to note. After practice on Saturday and after qualifying, it was very clear it was going to be 2 cars. It was very clear it was going to be Jeff Montgomery or if there's going to be Aaron Wilson. There was about a 0.4 of a gap between those two and the rest of the field. Last year's winner, Evan Margison, put up a good fight, came home third, but wasn't ever really in the battle. Jeff Montgomery got to the front first and held on for a long time until Aaron Wilson just slowly picked him off. And by I mean slowly, I mean like he would pass 2 cars in one corner multiple times. He would get to Jeff. Yeah, slowly. He would get to Jeff. They battled for a couple left, and Aaron finally got around him and was gone. Race didn't come back to Jeff. I did learn after the race that Jeff ran about half the race without a right rear shock or spring, because it broke off in the middle of the race. And so when Jeff pulled the car into victory lane in second, it was literally like the back rear. You could see the car was like it was like slanted. Like it was so clear. So to have that speed and to still come home in second, dealing with that. But Aaron Wilson won with like a 13-second gap. It was over from the moment Aaron got to the lead, got to clean air. But the cool story behind it was he was running a family car. He was running the car he built. It was his first pavement sprint car. And it was literally sitting in the shop for 7 years. No one touched it. It was in the back of the shop. He pulled it out. They threw it together, and he came out blistering fast. So apparently they're going to try to work and get the 14 out again, but that's kind of questionable for Granite Cup in the future.
One of the best asphalt sprint car drivers in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and Jeff are top of the list. You know, they're in the top 5 everywhere. They're having some real struggles. So shout out McKenna Cox. She got to the front and never looked back, and she picked up her second straight win for the series. Greg Vaughn and Jeremy Howe joined her on the podium, so great for those guys. I like Greg and Jeremy both. They're both, I think just very enthusiastic about racing, and so you need people like that. So congrats to both of them. Dwarf cars were good. There was a big field of dwarf cars. And we like to add a second kind of open wheel division. And yes, Derek, the guy who just hangs the rear out and like drifts around the corners, was there again. So cool. So much fun to watch.
So cool.
Cole Raridan goes to victory in a good battle. So Dr. Honda back on the top step looking to defend his title. It is, Derek, I can't explain it how often it happens and how I feel terrible. Justin Brave breaks before the main event, doesn't make it out. I know. So I was going to say, I want to say it's going to be a 4-car battle for the championship, but with the way these championships work, one missed race is a dagger, and you have to hope everyone else misses one. So it's going to come down to Lyndon, Zach, and Cole, and it's going to be a great series. And there might be another fast driver hanging around looking to come out and run some mini stock action, and I will say no further at this time. Braden Wager starts 3 for 3 in the INEX Legend division, and this time there was about 6 cars that I thought could win this race. Braden just said, no, none of you can win this race. Wager's having the time of his life right now. He's running, dirt midget cars, and is just, I want you to know that at his first race at Deming, he had to run with the rookie flag thing, so he had to come from the back. But he qualified 4th. He started 13th and wheeled his way up back to 4th. So he earned the Hard Charger Award, and he got out of that in a car, and then it was just like ecstatic. So Braden Wager's having the time of his life right now. He can't stop winning and running well everywhere. I'm sure that now I've said that on this platform. Braden, I'm sorry about the rest of your season. The last thing I want to leave it on is congratulations, Sheridan Vincent, with his first career Superstock Figure 8 win. He held off McKenzie. He held off Carlson. This wasn't like something freak happened. This was a good, hard drive from Sheridan Vincent. And it was John at the line. Like the two of them came across the line, and like I kept like, just had to keep being like, it's too close to call. It's too close to call, and kept waiting for scoring to give me one. And they finally called it for Sheridan. A large swath of the crowd erupted. Because anytime you get to see it first, it's incredible. Oh,
100%.
And let me put it this way, and Derek knows as well, and for the fans of you, Sheridan Vincent works real hard on those cars. For him and for Chevy, they are constantly thrashing on those things. I see it on Facebook. But so, congrats to the Vincent family racing team and all of them involved in that family. It's tough to be awesome to see him. Chevy's gone to victory lane already. Chevy has a real fast race car and will be, I think, competitive this year. But some other podiums from around the Northwest include South Sound Speedway. Congratulations to Jeff Peterson with the win in the Super Late Models, Eric Woods in the Hobby Stocks, Vintage Scott Wrinkle in the South Sounds, which was also his third straight win. Congratulations to him. Peyton Presley picked up his first career win in their baby grands with his dad Derek in second, and Eddie Secord picked up the win in the Super Fours. We look at Skagit Speedway and we see that Tyler Thompson won the opening 410 Sprint Car of the Year and led it pole to pole. Logan goes back-to-back in IMCA Modifieds, and Trey Stark wins the 360 race. Derek, is anyone shocked by Trey Stark's winning a race? No, that guy's incredible. So that kind of wraps up some of the Northwest news that I had and some results. If you have results or news or anything, you want to send it to me, it can either come out on this platform here in the Obstacles Podcast or with the Elevate Race Report and more of a written content. I'm happy to share it with either. And while you're at it, go check out the Elevate Race Report, new service launched from Elevate Racing Media. You can find things that I wrote with also things from Caleb Hart, other series broadcasts. Like I know Cole Sorensen had stuff up there for the NST Tour, from Greg Rentz, one of our team writers, and many more. Kyler Hope does jump in there every now and then. Also wise that I might get beat later, but yeah.
We're not sponsored, but we could be.
We're not. We're not sponsored. You're right, but we might have something brewing in the works. Not from them at this moment, but I'm hoping to bring that home. Let's take a look also at the Cars Tour West. They had a rare off week, I think, last weekend.
Yeah, I believe so. Cars Tour West mostly preparing for a bunch of things right now. The Northwest off until June 13th. With the road to the 200, the Supers off until the end of this month, May 30th, when they head to Wenatchee for the Wenatchee 200.
So the next race before that for the Cars Tour West is this weekend, upcoming on the 16th, where they go back to Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway for PLMs for 125 laps, limited lates for 75, and Southwest Legends. That, of course, will be on Flow Racing if you want to check it out. So, that's just kind of where I think we're sitting. If we check points for the Northwest, Ethan Ebert still your points leader. I am not a lot has shuffled or gone on, as there obviously has not been any racing. So, so I've got really nothing else to add on the Cars Tour Northwest or Cars Tour West. They've had some time off. I do want to shout out the Northwest Super Late Model Series has their next race in the calendar with the State Line Speedway 150. Obviously, they're looking to continue the series, although there's some questionable weather for this weekend. So that's not great. A terrible timing for them. So I hope they're able to be able to run that race and get their second race of the year in.
Well, you know what the weather doesn't affect, Ben? The good old hockey game.
Sure. It does not affect hockey. It's in the rare cases where they play it outdoors.
The NHL is still full swing in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Carolina Hurricanes, nothing can stop them right now. They complete their second sweep of the Stanley Cup playoffs. They are 8-0 so far heading into the conference finals. They will wait to play the winner of the Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. Those two 2-1 in favor of the Canadiens at the moment. Wednesday, when this comes out, you can expect Game 5 of that series. Avalanche dropped one to the Wild, but they still lead that series 3-1. That's something you can expect the day this comes out at 5. And then, of course, the Ducks and the Golden Knights are final of the 4 series is going on. That series tied 2-2, as those guys will have Game 6 the day after this episode drops. On the WHL side of things, it's 1-1 tied in the WHL Championship. I've watched both games. Game 1 was a little rough, I will say. The Tips not finishing their opportunities, and don't get me wrong, the Prince Albert goaltender playing amazingly. Just needed a couple more times to finish the job. Well, they did that in game number 2. That's why we're 1-1. It is a 2-3-2 setup for the WHL Championship, meaning that The next 3 games, all in Prince Albert. If Everett can win at least one, they'll get to come home for 6 and game 7, which I hope to be at if those games happen. I personally hope they don't.
He wants a game 7.
I personally hope they don't, because I would really, really like it if Everett just finished the job and I didn't need to worry about this anymore. That's all in the hands of them up at Prince Albert. That is happening Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday up at Prince Albert, with games 6 and 7 happening Sunday and I believe on next Tuesday. That being said, that's all I got from the wide world of hockey. Ben, do you got anything else for us here?
No, I think
That's right. It's time for your favorite segment here on the Announce Chris podcast. We're going to send it down to the Barksdale basement of baseball.
Thanks, Eric. It seems like the Mariners are starting to turn things around here. You know, finally, we're entering the second quarter of the season, and we finally kind of seem to be figuring things out and getting into a bit of a groove. We're still hovering right around 500. The AL West is still open. Athletics are in first right now, but no one's really running away with it. Houston's looking awful, which is good. We've won the first 2 games of our series against them here as of recording. And yeah, we're looking really strong here. Tuesday's game especially was really good. It just happened for me. It would have been a couple days ago for you, but Dom Canzone had a grand slam. Randy Arozarena had a great game. It was 4 for 4, stolen base, a homer, and a couple doubles, I believe. And you know who was on base for that Randy Arozarena home run? Cal Raleigh, who walked in that case, but snapped his 0 for 30-something streak with a single in the later innings of Tuesday's game. So that's great to see. It was reported that he took a shower in his full jersey as suggested by Logan Gilbert. So yeah, does that have something to do with it? I don't know. That's up to you, but it's fun nonetheless. But yeah, we've had some really good starts as of late. Kirby's been really strong for us recently. Castillo had a good start. Brian Wu's had a couple good starts against Atlanta, and then Tuesday here against Houston had 9 strikeouts. So very, very good to see that the rotation is still doing Seattle rotation things. And also not technically Mariners, but a Mariners prospect here, Cade Anderson, is having a historic start to his minor league career here. He's still in Double-A Arkansas, but he is absolutely shoving. He's a great left-handed prospect that we drafted the first round of 2025, I believe, that draft. So this is his first full year in the minors, and it seems like he's not going to be there very long if he continues to pitch the way he has. He has a sub-1 ERA, absolutely a ton of strikeouts, minimal walks, sub-1 whip. So he's looking insane right now. And I would be surprised if he is not the number one, in that number 1 spot to replace someone if someone does go down in the rotation, which, you know, he might even replace Hancock here if he starts to slow down, but he's had a great start to the year. So we have an abundance of pitching. It's a great problem to have. But yeah, the Mariners are looking good. I'm optimistic as always, but I actually have some valid reasons to be. So yeah, send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Caden.
Oh, I didn't know that. You learn something every day.
Hey, that you do. We love baseball, don't we?
Yeah, I think
I probably could have said that with a little bit more enthusiasm.
I really hope Caden talked about how Cal Raleigh's on the longest hitless streak in MLB right now.
Wow.
That's just a fact.
Brutal.
That's just a statement.
Hey, look, man, I understand. I just know that sometimes, you know, you can still strike, you can still hurt people a little bit.
Sure.
Regardless.
Not how I intended it, Cal.
That's what we have for you this week here on the Announcers Chris podcast. Until next time, I have been Derek Todoroff.
I am Ben Iman.
And remember, if they ever let me make an energy drink, I'm calling it Chimp Cauldron.